There's something very special about the song Godzilla. It really has stood the test of time, and of course, it is about that Japanese huge monster. We talked to Buck Dharma about that on Rock History Music. Blue Oyster Cult, a pioneering American rock band, was formed in 1967 in Stony Brook, New York. Their initial name was Soft White Underbelly, and their classic lineup included Donald Buck Dharma Rozier on lead guitar and vocals, Albert Bouchard on drums and vocals, Alan Lanier on keyboards and rhythm guitar, Eric Bloom on lead vocals and guitar, and Joe Bouchard was the bass player and a vocalist. Their lineup included so many genre bends: heavy metal, psychedelic, progressive rock, and in the beginning garnered a real good cult following in the New York area. But they soon caught the attention of manager Sandy Pearlman. He helped them secure a deal with Columbia Records, and their self-titled debut album was released in 1972, showcasing their electric style and darkly poetic lyrics, laying down the groundwork for their future success. Even non-Blue Oyster Cult fans would know the album Agents of Fortune, which of course featured the iconic lineup. It was the band's fourth studio album, released in 1976, and it was a major turning point in their career. This was the time where the band embraced a more polished and accessible sound, blending hard rock and pop sensibilities. Agents of Fortune became a huge commercial success, largely due to that song, which would later be known as the Cowbell Song, which we'll get into in a second, that would be featured on Saturday Night Live, giving it a whole new life. Don't Fear the Reaper. Written by Buck Dharma, the song has a haunting melody and existential lyrics. It captured the imagination of a large audience. Don't Fear the Reaper reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and remains a staple on classic rock radio. Another was Godzilla, released in 1977 from Spectres. Godzilla is sort of a tongue-in-cheek tribute to the famous Japanese monster. It, again, was written by Buck Dharma, and the song features one of those real driving riffs, powerful lyrics, describing the creature's destructive rampage. It became a fan favorite, and it's known for its powerful guitar solo. It's also really catchy. Burnin' For You from 1981 and Fire of Unknown Origin, another huge song for the band. It was co-written by Buck Dharma and Richard Meltzer. And this song is what this band does really well when they want to get a bit more commercial, giving it a melodic rock approach and introspective lyrics. The track became a top 40 hit, reaching number 40 on the Hot 100, and was bolstered by a heavy rotation on MTV. Overall, Blue Oyster Cult's legacy is firm in the rock and roll history books, combining some great pop at times, a lot of rock, and metal genres. The band was always well known for complex arrangements, fantastic lyrics, and a willingness to experiment. That's what set them apart from their contemporaries. Now the resurgence of Blue Oyster Cult's song Don't Fear the Reaper. It was significantly influenced by a sketch on Saturday Night Live that aired on April 8th, 2000. The sketch was known as More Cowbell, and it became an iconic moment in pop culture, revitalizing interest in that one song and the band. In the sketch, actor Christopher Walken plays a music producer, Bruce Dickinson, and he's overseeing the recording of the song Don't Fear the Reaper. Will Ferrell portrays Gene Frankel, a fictional cowbell player who's very enthusiastic about playing excessive cowbell, which becomes the focal point of the whole skit. Now, despite the band's attempts to focus on the overall recording of the song, Walken's character insists that the track needs more cowbell. Walken delivers that now iconic famous line, "Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell." Now, the humor of court and the absurdity of the skit really struck a chord with fans, and it's become one of the most famous Saturday Night Live skits of all time. And that's when Don't Fear the Reaper had a resurgence. People wanted to hear it. And now it's ingrained in pop culture for a whole other reason. You have a song in your repertoire that you wrote that is another big one. Godzilla is one of those songs that kids love it on a primal level, just the way maybe the phrasing of it, maybe. Well, why do you think that song is? It's a primal song. There's a primal something going on about it.
Yeah, well, I was a huge fan of the first Toho movie that Hollywood had dubbed Raymond Burr into, for the English speaking audience, so that's why I wrote that song. that was before the revival of Godzilla as a film franchise. That was before any of that. But my grandsons love it. They think it's great. They also like Bear McCreary's version. Bear, did the music for the two Godzilla movies ago, and I had met him, at that point over the phone and become friends since. But they like his version too, which has got the taiko drums and the chorus, the male chorus in there. Godzilla,
Yeah.
they love it. So yeah, I mean it's great.
Godzilla is another Buck Dharma song. Pretty much fully formed from his home studio. We knew it was going to be really popular, so we spent a lot of time. That was really took quite a few days to get right in the studio. Yeah, it was great. And they finally used it on a Godzilla movie. It only took about 35 years.
That's right.
We kept asking them for all, they put Puff Daddy and not Blue Oyster Cult. And one of them was like Puff Daddy remakes Kashmir.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
It was Kashmir, yeah.
Oh, God. But finally, the producers of the latest Godzilla movie put us in the credits. And it's great. It's exciting. It really is. It was finally the time to do that,
There was an underlining thing with like burning for you and this and the Reaper. When I hear those songs, even though on some levels they sound like different bands, but that's why I love Blue Oyster Cult. I like like I told you, that's why I like Toto. That's why I love the Beatles. That's why I like different. I'm so obsessed with bands that have different singers. I keep going, wow, everyone's, and I know it wasn't always diplomatic probably, and you guys probably argued about stuff, but there was just something about that seemed to work.
Yeah. Well, Burning for You was another Buck Dharma great song. The lyrics are by Richard Meltzer, one of our early lyricists. Came up with some great lyrics. I actually had the lyrics before Buck, and I said, this is really good. And I wrote my version of it, but it wasn't as good as Donald's. So, I never really got to the essence of where it should have been. But it was a sort of I'm burning for you was the same thing on that. But, that's another one that's people are really moved when they hear that song. Just the opening chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of songs with the opening chords that just get you, and you stop and you because Burn for You was one of those songs. I remember when I heard it, I'm going, I didn't know it was you guys. And I'm going, I remember being so glad it was you guys going, God, yes,
Yeah.
And that's that's a thing that I think Blue Oyster Cult had with a lot of fans, where the Windham Hill label used to have that when they were doing new age music. People would buy Windham Hill or ECM or CTI. They would buy the label because they trusted the label, and bands have that. And I had that with you guys. I remember going, if you guys put it out, I'll buy it because you've already earned the trust. And I love it when bands do.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, when you look at Don't Fear the Reaper, then you get another single like Godzilla. I'm going, well, that sounds completely different. But if someone knew the band, they wouldn't be surprised by that if they really actually went
Okay. Have you heard this one? That Godzilla was actually originally Patti Smith's idea? Okay, yeah. Patti had a poem that appeared in Cream magazine. And at the end of the poem, she went, Zilla, God, Zilla, God, Zilla, God. So Don saw that, and he said, hey, I should write a song. And he called Patti up and said, let's write this song. I got an idea for a song called Godzilla. And Patti said, that's great, but I'm in Florida right now. I can't, I'm not going to be back to New York for 2 more weeks. She was out on tour. And so he said, okay, I'll wait for you. But then, I think a couple of days later, he's like, oh, I got this. I got to put it down. And he just put it down, did it all himself. So, Yeah, but she was the spark that ignited that song. Yeah.
Well, what's the craziest thing a fan's ever done to you? I remember thinking you were the coolest looking dude I've ever seen. I remember going, this guy, he looks like a dude. He looks like he's in his body. That was my impression of you.
Well, thank you. Because I have no concept, of it, self concept or in the moment. It's just what you see is what you get, pretty much.
We'll have more from Buck Dharma coming up in the next few days. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. If you want to help out Rock History Music, there's a link at the very top where you can make a donation or join our Patreon. But subscribe to our channel and like the videos. Share them on social media. Would appreciate that. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music.